Sony's Alpha series has long stood at the forefront of the mirrorless camera world, but a recent shift in its release strategy has sparked both intrigue and uncertainty. What was initially expected to be a big year for the Sony A7V has taken a surprising turn. According to confirmed reports from multiple reliable industry insiders, Sony has officially postponed the launch of the A7V. Originally slated for an April 2025 debut, this much-anticipated model is now expected to arrive in the latter part of the year. This delay not only reshapes Sony's release roadmap but also shifts the spotlight to other significant models, especially the long-awaited Sony A7S IV. Sony's decision to delay the A7V appears to be rooted in both strategic considerations and internal production challenges. Sources suggest that Sony is carefully watching Canon's next move, specifically, the pricing of the upcoming Canon EOS R6 Mark III. By allowing Canon to go first, Sony can assess market positioning more accurately and potentially price the A7V more competitively. This move seems like a classic case of strategic patience, aimed at ensuring the A7V retains strong appeal within the fiercely competitive mid-range full-frame mirrorless segment. However, not all reasons are tactical. Another narrative emerging from within Sony's production circles hints at logistical struggles. Manufacturing delays, supply chain bottlenecks, and an overburdened production line focused on fulfilling demand for the flagship Sony A7V II are all contributing to the postponement. With Sony's factories reportedly prioritizing the A7V II to maintain momentum in the professional high-end segment, resources that would typically be allocated to the A7V are temporarily diverted. Production on the A7V II is expected to stabilize by March or April 2025, but until then, the A7V remains in a holding pattern. For photographers eagerly awaiting the A7V, this delay is understandably disappointing. Yet, it's also a reflection of Sony's careful balancing act, trying to innovate without overextending its manufacturing capabilities. Interestingly, the delay might open a window for the A7V to launch sooner than expected, giving creators a high-resolution alternative while they wait for the A7V. While the A7V takes a backseat, the Sony A7S IV is quickly emerging as Sony's most talked-about camera for 2025. The A7S series, known for its unparalleled low-light performance and cinematic video quality, has not seen an update since the release of the A7S III in 2020. Over the years, competition from Canon's R5C, Panasonic's S1H, and even budget-friendly cinema cameras from Blackmagic has eroded Sony's dominance in the video space. Now, the A7S IV appears to be Sony's answer to reclaiming that lost ground. At the heart of the Sony A7S IV is expected to be a 12.1-megapixel sensor, consistent with the series' focus on maximizing light sensitivity over resolution. However, this isn't just a rehash of the past. The new sensor will reportedly be a redesigned backside illuminated chip featuring improved quantum efficiency. This could significantly reduce noise at extremely high ISOs, beyond 49,600, making it even more viable for low-light shooting scenarios where other cameras falter. Adding to this is the next-generation Bions XR processor, which will likely introduce AI-based enhancements. Machine learning will play a pivotal role in real-time noise reduction, color rendering, and dynamic range optimization. Some leaks suggest the camera could automatically fine-tune exposure and white balance using AI, streamlining workflows for videographers who need minimal post-production. The Sony A7S III set a benchmark with its 4K recording at 120 FPS, and the A7S IV aims to go even further. Rumors point to support for 6K recording at 60 FPS and 4K at an impressive 240 FPS. Such capabilities would provide massive flexibility in post, especially for filmmakers and commercial creators who rely heavily on slow-motion footage and cropping options. While recording in 6K demands fast and spacious media, the A7S IV is expected to support CF Express Type B cards to meet those needs. Sony is also rumored to be tackling long-standing criticisms around color science, with improved tonal curves and in-camera color profiles that better reflect natural skin tones. Support for custom LUTs could also be expanded, offering more creative flexibility straight out of the camera. Autofocus has always been a strong suit for Sony, and the A7S IV is expected to push this even further. Drawing from the AI-powered subject recognition technology in the A7RV, the A7S IV could feature improved tracking for eyes, faces, and objects, even in challenging scenes. This would be a major win for solo filmmakers and documentarians who rely heavily on reliable autofocus during dynamic shoots. Moreover, Sony is rumored to enhance its active stabilization system by combining sensor shift tech with AI-based motion prediction. This hybrid system could potentially rival the performance of external gimbals, offering smoother handheld footage for run-and-gun filmmakers. Physically, the Sony A7S IV is expected to retain the rugged magnesium alloy chassis of the A7S III but with slight ergonomic refinements. These may include a deeper grip and more intuitive button placement for extended handheld shooting. Battery performance could also see a meaningful upgrade, possibly a 20 to 30% improvement, thanks to a new Z-type battery, succeeding the already solid NP-FC100. Connectivity upgrades are another area where the A7S IV could shine. With live streaming and remote production workflows becoming mainstream, Sony may introduce 5G compatibility or at least Wi-Fi 6E support for faster uploads and real-time cloud integration. HDMI 2.1 is also expected, which would future-proof the A7S IV for 8K external recording, even though internal 8K is unlikely due to heat limitations. Industry analysts suggest that the Sony A7S IV will likely arrive in late Q3 of 2025. Pricing is expected to hover around $4,000, marking a $500 increase over the A7S III. While this price jump may seem steep, it reflects the A7S IV's more advanced features, especially in video performance, stabilization, and connectivity. For serious content creators, the added cost could be well justified. The urgency around the A7S IV's release stems from a clear need to reclaim Sony's leadership in the video creator space. The Canon R5C, with its 8K RAW capabilities, and the Nikon Z9, offering similar high-end video features, have put pressure on Sony to innovate. Meanwhile, budget-friendly cinema cameras from brands like Blackmagic continue to draw away indie filmmakers who prioritize affordability. With the A7S IV, Sony is targeting a specific, underserved niche, hybrid shooters who need top-tier low-light performance and a portable body. The A7V's delay, while unfortunate, allows Sony to concentrate its efforts and resources on making the A7S IV a true flagship for video professionals. At the same time, Sony's rumored strategy of releasing the A7RV ahead of the A7V could be another smart move. With demand for high-resolution stills cameras rising among professional photographers and content creators, the A7RV could temporarily fill the gap left by the delayed A7V, especially if it brings significant performance upgrades learned from the A12's production. Sony's 2025 camera roadmap has taken an unexpected turn, but the company's decisions appear to be strategic rather than reactive. By delaying the A7V and prioritizing models like the A7S IV and potentially the A7RV, Sony is addressing immediate gaps in its lineup while navigating real-world production constraints. The Sony A7S IV, in particular, stands out as a critical release. If the rumored specs hold true, it could become the go-to choice for video professionals who need reliable performance in low light, fast frame rates, improved color science, and next-level autofocus. For many creators, it could be the most significant mirrorless camera launch of the year. As the months unfold, the success of Sony's 2025 strategy will hinge on how well it can execute on these promises. Creators will be watching closely, not just to see when these cameras arrive, but to see whether Sony can once again redefine what's possible in the mirrorless world. Are you planning to wait for the Sony A7S IV, or are you still holding out hope for the A7V? Either way, 2025 is shaping up to be a defining year for Sony Alpha.